my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things. And today I am giving you my very first wrap-up of the month, or of the year. Obviously of the month. Of the year. It's also simultaneously going to be the last one I film for a hot minute, unless I manage to film a February one, which I don't promise. So here we are. If you don't know, I'll be going on maternity leave in a couple of months, so less than a couple of months now. We're not going to talk about it. Moving on. January was an interesting month. I got a ton of reading done. I ended up being really far ahead and like adding things. I have never been more grateful actually for the concept of the book jar that I decided to use this year. I think that it has helped me really when I'm like, okay, I'm running out of books, I have time to add some more books, but I don't know what to read. It makes it a lot easier. I don't feel like overwhelmed by having to make those choices, which is, by the way, why I make such like intense TBRs and stuff, is because I hate making decisions. And so if I can just sit down one day a month and like plan out everything I'm going to read, then I don't feel overwhelmed by having to make a decision about what I want to read later on. And so when I run out of books, that was a little overwhelming. But now I have the book jar, so I can just pull up a thing and that's what I'm going to read next, and it's fine. So that's been really helpful. I actually have been knocking quite a few books out that way, like books that I've just had on my TBR for a really long time, digital copies of books that I've just had sitting around. So series that I've wanted to read, start, read, continue, whatever. So it's been a really handy way for me to do things, and I'm pleased with it. So let's talk about the stats, and then we're going to talk about top bottom books. In January, I read a total of 27 books, which was 4,173 pages. For audiobook hours, it was 193 hours and 17 minutes, which as days is 8 days, 1 hour and 17 minutes. My average page per day was 218.4, and my average hours was 8 hours and 43 minutes and 49 seconds. My average rating this month was a 3.4. A lot of just books that were just mid. They were just mid. They were not anything to write home about majorly. They were just like, this was fine, and I read it. Cool, moving on. I did not purchase any books this month, and the total library books that I checked out was 18, which saved me $417, which is a good start to the year considering how much money we've already spent on baby stuff for a person who's not even here yet. I reread a total of 8 books. Of the books I read, 16 of them were audiobooks, 6 of them were ebooks, and 5 of them were physical books. I'm rereading the October Day series, so that's part of it too, is that I'm reading those, and I have all of them in print. So I think except for I have all of them in print. For the intended audiences, 19 of them were adult, 6 of them were young adult, and 2 of them were middle grade. And those were my childhood rereads of Little House on the Prairie. Do not recommend. For genres, I read 4 sci-fi, 6 fantasy, 1 romance, 1 historical, 4 thriller, 5 horror, 2 classics, 3 nonfictions, and 1 contemporary. My stats for February are already looking crazy when it comes to genre, so just stay tuned on that if I do end up filming the wrap-up. But that is it. Those are the stats. So it was a good reading month, a good start to the year. I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. I wasn't sure how I was going to start feeling as things progress. Like, am I still going to want to read? And the answer is, that's all I want to do. I actually don't want to do anything else. I want to be left alone to read. And no one is leaving me alone to read, so that's kind of rude. But here we are. Let's talk about my top and bottom books. I actually have 3 and 3 instead of just like my standard random assortment. I actually have 3 and 3. So let's talk about those. For my top books, I have The Family Experiment by John Marrs. I actually, frankly, love this Dark Future series as a whole. One of them has its own Netflix series, The One, which I have watched, so The Family Experiment, though, was definitely my favorite because it combines, like, the internet's need to watch people's downfall on reality TV mixed with like the ethics of AI and like the ethics of, I want to say robots but not robots, simulation type things, like those moral ethics and what that might look like, and then also like the emotional turmoil that those things can put you through, as like whilst also being in the setting of like real life stuff that happens to people. And then there's also just like some dynamics and things that made me curious about this future, this not so distant future. It creates the groundwork for a lot more stories to be written, and I think John Mars needs to go to therapy. But it's a really interesting dystopian sci-fi series, and if you can handle being confronted with the horridness of humanity in our current climate, I highly recommend them. Next up, we have Bound in Blood, which is a short story compilation, so multiple authors. I normally would not in any way, shape, or form put a short story compilation into my top books. However, the reason that this, and it's a horror short story compilation, so don't just like go in expecting fluffy stories, I guess. The reason that this actually wins for me heavily is because I didn't know this about myself, I really seem to like when a bunch of short stories have one single connecting thread, not like characters or anything like that, but the connecting thread being a concept. And this concept was like novels or writing, books as a whole. And that being this like concept that was threaded through every story made me, one, look for it, like, is it really obvious? Is it not really obvious? That's a clever way for you to have done that. It made me appreciate the stories more. Like I've seen some that are like winter based or Christmas based, and I didn't care for those as much. It's something about it being a book, which can also be, you know, a library or writing or novels, but it's still like that concept, and something about it just was really interesting. Now, of course, with every short story compilation, there were some stories that I did not really care for. There were some stories that I really, really, really liked and was upset was not longer. That's to be expected. This was just truly very interesting, and I really enjoyed connecting those threads and like just seeing the different ways that people could write something about books, you know? I thought that was kind of interesting, and I really liked it for that. And then lastly, we have The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This is supposed to be a thriller, but quite frankly, it's a contemporary book. It's very much a contemporary book, which, shocking that it's on my top list because I don't care for contemporary very much. But this, and maybe it's because I'm in my current state, but this is about a woman who already has a son, gets pregnant, and then has another child in like the 1950s. And this is when we didn't really fully understand postpartum depression. We didn't really fully understand what lobotomies were doing and what shock therapy was doing, etc. And we didn't understand postpartum psychosis, like none of it. We didn't understand it. And because we didn't understand it, it really caused a lot of women to suffer. And this is from the perspective of our main character who's gone through those things, not lobotomy, she wasn't lobotomized, who's dealing with postpartum issues. And it's from her perspective of her just like trying really hard and kind of what happens to make everything unravel. Making her the Mad Wife. I don't want to spoil anything here, but it was really well written. It was really interesting. And you know what? Frankly, I sometimes get very tired of reading about terrible husbands. Now, I expected a terrible husband because it's the 1950s, but the husband in this kind of pulled through at the end. Once you realize everything that's going on, you're like, okay, he's doing his best. He's literally doing his best with what's been handed to him. And I really enjoy when we talk about mental health when the relationship dynamic that might be happening at the same time doesn't suck. When the person that, like, the person that's being affected has a good support system, but the system outside of the support system is what's hindering them. I really like that. I think that that feels less shitty to read, honestly, because there were good marriages back in the day, and there are good marriages now, and I feel like a lot of the time in contemporary books, we just disregard that there can and were good marriages. Can be and were good marriages. So, those are the top books. The bottom books are kind of all over the place. They're very much all over the place. So I'll own that. I'll own it. But let's talk about my least favorite books from this month. First up, we have the nonfiction book from my book jar. I think from when I filmed the TBR video, actually. But I've been meaning to read this for a long time, back when I was much more woo-woo, so I probably would have liked it more back then. But that's going to be The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine in Aron? I don't know. This book is anti-medication. It is anti-therapy. It's bad. It basically, if you might be neurodivergent, and to be fair, this book was written, I think, in the 60s. If you might be neurodivergent, then you are going to likely be classified as an HSP, a highly sensitive person, which means that, you know, like, you have superpowers, basically. And I hate that classification. It just felt dismissive of a lot of mental health issues, and just basically was like, you can cure yourself by, like, moving your body more and giving yourself more space to be sensitive and not having expectations of existing in society like everyone else. And those aren't necessarily bad things to say, but, like, to say them while also saying, like, meds are damaging you, I struggle with that a little bit. I have some grievances there, just a little bit, some issues. I don't know. And also it was boring. I found it very boring. It was very hard for me to get through. I just didn't care. And maybe it's because I don't identify as an HSP. And actually, when I even did the little quiz at the beginning to see, like, are you a highly sensitive person, I got a lower score. It said I was not. It said I was not an HSP, and then the thing was like, even if you scored low, you still might be. That just sounds like you're trying to sell snake oil at that point. Next up, we have The Enemy's Daughter by Melissa Poet. I absolutely got this book because I thought the cover was pretty. It's supposed to be romantasy. Why would I pick this? Like, when I was reading this, I was like, why did I have this on my TBR? Where did it come from? It's absolutely because of the cover. Our main character is naive, and we're supposed to believe that she's like a genius, and I really struggled with that. Our main character comes from, like, tribal groups. She's supposed to end up married off to bring these tribes together, but this is set in the future, a dystopian future where something happened and society fell. So while they do that, there's this other part of society that are like the King's Land, and the King's Land, it's Kingsland, but it's the King's Land that has some semblance of the way things were before, and she ends up getting not kidnapped, but like kind of kidnapped into, like, with those people as she's trying to help do something else. This is not spoilers, like, this is just stuff that happens in, like, the beginning of the book. And you see, like, the distinct differences in society and stuff, and that's kind of interesting. But she's so naive, and it's so frustrating to read. And even the love interest is like, girly pop, I am just trying to help you out here. I have no beef with you. I am just trying to help you. I don't know why you gotta act like this. Like, can you relax, please? And she's like, no, I have to kill all of you. Oh, you want to let me shadow your doctors? I might stay for a minute. It just... it was just very hard to read, and it was very young adult. But there was some spice to it, which made it confusing. Our character read like a 15, 16-year-old put in an adult situation, lots of adult situations. And I don't even know if this was an adult or young adult book. I really struggled with that. I didn't care for her. And because we're following her the entire time, it made it really hard to enjoy the book. I think that the book had the foundation to be something really interesting. The concept was really interesting, but our main character was so insufferable that it really took away from the book. And last but not least, on this wrap-up, we have The Little House on the Prairie by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I'm going to give the caveat that I recognize that this book was published a long time ago, and it is written about experiences from a long time ago. I understand, I recognize that, and I hold some grace there. The reason it's on my worst books is because I don't recommend anyone read it, ever, in any capacity. I don't think we should read it. It was really bad. The reason it was really bad was the racism, which doesn't totally surprise me in a book like this, right? Again, I recognize and hold space for the fact that this is an older book. But at one point, Laura is watching the Native Americans pass by as they're going somewhere else because the government is making them get off of their own land. Laura passes by, or they pass by, and Laura is in tears because she's begging her father to get her a little Native American baby. She doesn't call it that, by the way. Like, just wants him to kidnap a baby for her and thinks it's outrageous that he won't do it. And at that point, that was when I was like, no one should read these books. No one should read these books. I owned the entire series as a child and read all of them and deeply enjoyed them. I loved the idea of living on the prairie and that old-timey shit. I thought that was so cool. I think you should just read Meet Kristen in the American Girl series. There's actually several American Girl series that you could probably read instead that will be a better experience if you want your children to read something about prairie life, because Little House on the Prairie is not going to be it. That shit was crazy. There was a lot of things that happened towards Native Americans that made me really go, huh? You can't just say that, actually. And again, I recognize fully about the timing of when this book was written and stuff. But that doesn't mean that we have to continue to recommend it to people. There are other books that talk about prairie life that don't hold these beliefs, and I think you should read those instead. So that's it. That is my wrap-up. I almost said my TBR. That is my January wrap-up. Like I said, it was a really good month. It was really fulfilling reading-wise. I'm really grateful for the book jar. I think that it has served me well. It's been a lot of fun this month, just getting things going. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you've read any of these books, want to read any of these books, have any questions about how I track these things, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to talk about it with you, or make a video if I feel like it warrants that, although it's going to take a minute for me to make some videos. And I think that's it. So I usually post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. However, I'm going on maternity leave at the end of next month. I don't know. I'm going to not have videos coming out in April. Like, not really. Not on the same schedule. Things are about to get funky around here, okay? But that's my usual schedule when things are not funky. So when I return, that's what you can expect. Yeah, it's weird to close out my videos now, since I'm like, I don't know when you'll see me again. Bye! Cool. I'm gonna go. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, like I said, if you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope that it continues to be wonderful. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Like, get rid of the Little House on the Prairie series that you may have stored at your mother's house. Okay, thanks, bye.